Good morning, Sly.
Good morning.
We're here at Queen of Angels Hospital where you're actually shooting Rocky II.
Right.
But today, opening nationwide is a film that I just reviewed in our other hour called Paradise Alley.
Mm-hmm.
A very different film, I believe, than what you're going to do with Rocky II.
For sure.
I can only assume with Rocky II we're going to see a more conventional story be told.
I certainly hope so. I mean, with Paradise Alley, I took a lot of liberties and things I had seen on screen for years and tried to put that all into one 2-hour package.
A lot of quirkiness. I mean, I have to tell you something. I think I may be one of the few critics in America who was absolutely fascinated by Paradise Alley. Why? I can't tell you, except that 1 week later, all those images are still parading before me. And to me, it means that you must have the most, or one of the most exceptional imaginations. Because some of those people are not real, or were they real?
No, not really. They're people that are kind of like bigger than life and do things that I always hoped people would do. And they're kind of like half caricature, half people, half cartoons, and their problems are a little bit bigger than normal problems. But I just try to get as much fun and drama all at the same time. And it was kind of a difficult formula to come up with, but I don't know, we got lucky, I guess.
Why'd you choose the world of wrestling? It's really not very appealing to many women.
Yeah. Well, originally Paradise Alley was like the father of Rocky. I had written that in 1972, and no one ever wanted to touch it. As you can see, it's a little too weird for people. So I went out and I wrote Rocky. Then the time came when I wanted to do Paradise Alley, and it dealt with the ring again. So I said, oh boy, here I've done last 4 films, 3 of them will be in the ring. But there's something about the ring that a one-on-one confrontation people can really relate to. It's visually, it's very interesting to do. Plus I thought, how interesting if I can make this really kind of a carnival effect, not as serious as Rocky, but really kind of like, well, with the rain and the colors and the characters, a little bit more would transcend your normal wrestling match.
But the people, I mean, yes, they are cartoons, and yes, at times they become very real.
Yeah.
And the dialogue that you've written, I mean, you have an unbelievable ear for knowing what to say, and yet the characters shouldn't be saying sometimes the things that they're doing. Why do you do that?
Well, I learned a long time ago the difference between conversation and dialogue. I felt that dialogue, every word has to be put in there to forward the character. I said, well, if you're going to have to forward the character, let's make it as interesting and offbeat as possible. So I try to throw in a lot of non sequiturs, things that people normally would never say. How many times have you gone to a party and you said, gee, I wish I said that at that moment? Well, I sit home and I think, well, what would this character say normally? He would say this normally, but what if he said this? And what would that character respond to it? So right away when you have the brothers talking about nouns and one brother who we think is stupid is there studying what the interpretation, definition of an aardvark or rutabaker. I mean, it's odd, but it makes for colorful situations.
I get the feeling, Sly, that you're trying to tell us about people who have brawn really have brains, and that we never really see those people as possibly having something worthwhile to say. Is that what you're trying to say?
Absolutely. Well, taking it very personally, all my life, since I lifted weights and whatnot, people automatically assumed that since I developed my body, my brain must be on just on out to lunch. So what I wanted to do was show that you can develop in the classical sense, like the Greeks developed the mind and the body together. And as of late, it seems that all intellectuals are usually the guys with glasses and sit at home and smoke a pipe and play chess. But that's not true. Because a man is large does not mean his brain has not developed in accordance with his body. And usually big men are very, very sensitive. It's just that there is that stereotype, I guess, due to football and athletics. So I said, well, wouldn't it be interesting to have these wrestlers who people automatically assume are just buffoons? They're not. They're very, very intelligent, sensitive, powerful human beings. And I think that we're going to see that for the first time, that you can have size, both physical and mental. And it's always, I try to go away from stereotypes, and I try to do it with Rocky. Rocky wasn't as easy, but this one is much more simple and clear. It's much more, well, there's a clarity to it, I think.
I think also that the public might be interested in knowing, I mean, they think of you at times as being an egomaniac, very self-centered, and yet in Paradise Alley, you give a lot of breaks to some brand new faces in this film.
Well,
I mean, were you happy to do it? Were you sometimes having second thoughts about maybe I should keep the camera on me and I should beef up my role? Because in essence, you don't have the lead role.
No, no. Answer the first part, as an egomaniac, I have been called out in the press simply because I really believe there's a democracy here, that you have to, if you really believe in something that you feel is right and you fight for it, right away they call you an egomaniac because you're imposing your will on other people, but you have to stand up for what you believe in, as you know. I mean, you have to tell the truth sometimes and all the time, and sometimes people don't want to hear that. So I tell the truth and they don't want to hear it, so right away they stamp a label on me, egomaniac. As for the second part of the question, I felt that if I were in the picture all the way, it would not be an ensemble piece. I've always wanted to be an ensemble piece. I always like working with other actors. I'd love to do like a Butch Cassidy or something, where I'm not just the total focal point of the whole movie. And I took out 15 scenes of myself that aren't even in the movie. I mean, I could make that movie 3.5 hours, but I felt it wrecked the balance. So anytime I had a line or a close-up that I felt was too, perhaps, again, here's an egocentric word, overpowering, I would take it back and put it into a smaller shot or give the line to someone else. And I felt that gives a balance. And the movie, like Paradise Alley, is a company work. It's like a play.
Where'd you actually find the brother in the film, the one who plays the wrestler? I mean, he is some hulk of a man.
Isn't he incredible? I'm telling you, America, this is the best looking guy. It's unbelievable. First of all, he doesn't have a bad angle. He's the only guy in the way you could put a camera in his nose and it would come out fantastic. He's just incredible.
Pronounce
he has it
his
all.
Last name.
Lee Canalito.
Canalito.
Now, Lee, I looked for, where do you find a man who's 6'6" and almost 260, 70 pounds who can act? I looked at every actor in Hollywood. Of course, I couldn't find anyone. And I'm laying at home, and I'm starting to become very depressed. And I'm about to go into the covers and totally withdraw because I can't find the key to this film. And I said, well, I could put 12-inch lifts on. I said, no, that's no good. So I was watching Wide World of Sports, and all of a sudden this man comes out. He's a boxer, and he's just pulverized the guy. I mean, just destroyed him in 2 seconds, just knocked him out of his shoes. He's huge, massive, good-looking guy. And they say, Lee Canalito, the Italian stallion. I said, thank you, Lord. Thank you. I'll be in church this Sunday. And I called up Angela Dundee, who handles Muhammad Ali, also handles this man. He couldn't believe it. I got him up here, and he's as gentle and calm and sensitive as he is in the picture. And he never got shook. I could sit there and ad-lib and say the most peculiar things to him, and he never batted an eye. He never got shook up. And he learned to wrestle on a professional status. Well, the man who taught him said he's never seen anything like it. He's probably one of the greatest, if not the greatest, all-around athlete in this country. He took all those things are real. Where in Rocky, sometimes we did things for the camera. What he did is real. It's real contact, and at night he'd have to go home, have the doctors work on him and drain this and drain that, but he never complained. He never once. And it was a miracle. He is really a miracle.
Well, we don't have the kind of love scenes in Paradise Alley as we have in Rocky. But I would say from a woman's point of view, I'm not for wrestling, but I was so fascinated by seeing this man on the screen who was truly one of the best looking men I've seen in a long time, that I would have to tell other women, just go to see the movie for that reason alone. But then you have the younger brother, whose character to me was always confusing. I wasn't quite sure what he was doing. Was he an undertaker, or, I mean, what was he doing with cadavers?
Here's a man, again, I wish the film could go 3 hours because I had to take out some very key scenes of his. He was a man who had it all. He was the most promising human being in the entire neighborhood. Good looking, had everything. He went to the war, he got injured, and he came back. His mind was completely changed. He was withdrawn. He was an introvert. And what do you do when you become an introvert? You get the most introverted job you can think of, and I couldn't think of anything worse than an undertaker's assistant. So the whole battle is, he had the best looking girl and everything, everything is gone from him. And once he gets a chance to become somebody, he overcompensates. He becomes, in a sense, power hungry, and he changes his way of dressing, his way of talking, and it becomes almost cruel in a sense. And that was far and away the most difficult role of all, because that's a role where you have to keep holding back, and sometimes it's not as popular as the other two characters. But that is a key. And he did, I think, a brilliant job. He's a good-looking, talented actor.
Did you know somebody like that? Did you mold him after someone? I mean, that's what I'm fascinated by, Sly, that imagination of yours. I mean, wrestling, the world of wrestling doesn't really occur the way you portrayed it on In Paradise Alley. Where does it come from?
Well, I took I said, the human being himself is a very, very complex animal. So instead of making all the characters in one, say like a depressed and conning kind of wrestler all packed into one, I took the normal human personality and split it into 3 sections. The intellectual and somber side, which is the Undertaker brother, the conning side, the side that wants to be flamboyant, and the innocent side to all of us, the naivete. And I tried to make this triangular structure work. So basically what you're seeing is one personality fighting itself. And that's what makes for, I guess, kind of like interesting drama.
There's a great deal of quirkiness in this film. I mean, are you a quirky person?
I'm a quirky pervert, yes I am.
You are.
Yes, I am. No.
I must ask you about this. In Paradise Alley, you have one scene in which you take a monkey and you tie him up. I mean, I think it's one of the most perverse scenes I've ever seen. Why did you do that?
Well, again, I said, okay, he's got a pet monkey. Originally, the scene was he just sits on the sink in the morning, will wake up, hello, how are you? He's eating peanuts. I said, now what if he turns this monkey, who he really doesn't like, and did something that has never been done before? Like he's seen maybe too many cowboy and Indian movies, and he completely binds this and mummifies this monkey, that it would, again, have the impact that I thought it would. And the audience like, how dare him? Oh, it's funny. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, I've never seen anything like it. Oh, what a horrible thing to do. And it brought out all those kind of colors in the audience. I didn't think it would go over as big as I did, because as I was doing it, everyone was saying, you can't do this, don't do this, we're going to quit. I mean, people who were walking off the set, they said, how can you be so cruel? I said, it's not cruel. This animal eats 57 pounds of peanuts a day. He's happy. I kiss him in the morning. He bites me. I mean, gets all his aggressions out. I just want to do one little thing to him. I just want to tie him up and gag him just a little bit.
But is this your way of getting your aggressions out?
No. I get my aggressions out in the editing room when I have to go home with my eyes all spinning because I've seen too many. Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. I do. I get the things out that I've always wanted to do on film. You're right. I guess you're right. Yes, I do get my aggressions out.
I'm kind of curious to know if any member of your family has seen the picture, and maybe even your wife, and how they viewed your so-called quirkiness and perverseness.
Well, let me go on record saying there's only one person in the world quirkier than me, and that's my wife. So she thought it was all underplayed. So I got a quirky manager, quirky everybody. So they're all just quirking around.
Just quirking around.
Yeah. One big quirky family.
What do you think that Paradise Alley, if given the right shot, can appeal to the same people that have seen Rocky?
Oh, yes. Again, it doesn't have the female love story. What it has is a triangular brotherly love and war going between the brothers. It's a much more involved show than Rocky. Again, I hope that the women are taken by the innocence of Lee Canalito, and that aspect brings them into the theater. Rocky was an emotional story about an underdog, and no one knew who I was, so it kind of like caught the fancy of people. But I think this may be a little slower build, but it has much more than Rocky in a lot of ways. It's much more, like you say, unusual.
As a filmmaker, were you aware that you were capturing some of the essences of the modern German filmmakers?
Of course I was. I set out right from the beginning to do all that. I was going to put everyone in little mustaches, but I decided, nah, I couldn't afford it.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't, not really.
Have you ever seen Fassbender's work?
No. I read about him just recently, and he's supposed to be so prolific, and he makes like 40 films a year or whatever. He's really supposed to be fascinating. I really never I try to stay away from other filmmakers, so I'm not influenced in people. I really don't spend that much time studying films per se. What I try to do is stay as loose and with my writing, and try to keep as pure to myself.
So many things have happened to you since Rocky became a success, since you've done Fist, finished Paradise Alley, now we're into Rocky II. how would you evaluate all those changes? What do you think happened to you, and where do you think you are now, and where do you want to go? That's a loaded question.
Well, in Rocky, right before Rocky, I was a dreamer who had an impossible dream. Rocky made that dream come true. So it made me, then I became a realist. And I wanted to do something very, very real. Then Fist came out, and even though the intentions were honorable, the film didn't quite do what I thought it would do, and it made me go back into dreaming again. So you might say I'm on a rebound right now, and everything that's happened to me has really been God sent, but it hasn't, the impact to this day has not really hit me, because I don't know, I just never seem to see things in focus. Either I'm a little far behind or a little bit ahead. I'm never quite on the money, so I don't like take a lot of vacations and really roll around in my accolades and do all that. It's strange, but what has happened is I believe that Paradise Alley and Rocky has opened up a whole new vista where I think I'm becoming much more sensitive to other people's needs and stories, and perhaps maybe directing will be my ship.